I love that image.
Disney got sued by 14,000 women,
Yes.
past and present employees. And basically, Disney has agreed to pay out $43 million in pay equity class action deal, which will stop it from going through, basically, like stop the class action. This is like a settlement agreement, basically, as opposed to it fully going through. It's quite a low amount. They wanted like $300 million or something like that. So it's significantly smaller. I wonder what you guys think initially of this before we sort of take a look. I mean, to me, this is the stuff you promote. You kind of get what you deserve. I don't buy into the gender pay, the sex pay gap and all that kind of nonsense.
It's stupid.
I don't do it. I don't care.
Well,
this
it's
is the bed that you've made. You lie in it.
Yeah, it's been debunked 3 ways to Sunday, right? Disney just needs this to go away. It's not expedient towards their virtue signaling ways. So, and it was the original goal was about 300 million. So of course they want to settle. I covered this from the beginning. So,
yeah, two things sort of struck me. One is exactly what Nate said, that if you promote sort of extreme progressivism and even sort of third wave feminism and all that sort of thing, then you get what you deserve. But then also the second thing that struck me is 40 odd million doesn't sound like a great deal. If it's 14,000 claimants, so they won't be getting a gigantic payout each, will they?
No.
I mean, it would probably be nice. I'd take it, but it's not going to be, It seems like Disney got away with something again, almost, it feels like, even though they didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it really does, actually.
You know what they're not going to be able to get away with? Gina Carano.
Yes. This is very true. That's going to be interesting to see. That will be very interesting. Well, let's take a look at some of this article, right? So basically, it says, we now know how much Disney is writing a check for to end the pay equity. Even that, pay equity. This word, equity, class action suit that has loomed over the company for the past 5 years. So set to address up to 14,000 eligible class members of female Disney employees, past and present, from 2015 to today. They're settling for not a high amount, but isn't this interesting? The Bob Iger run Fun Palace will be paying $43.25 million, according to papers which were filed yesterday. What I find interesting about all of this is it's another mark against Bob Iger's name. Bob Iger, the guy who says, I'm the CEO, I've done this, I'm one of the greatest CEOs of all time. It's like, mate, you've presided over Disney, over with some of the most ridiculous and unbelievable sort of lawsuits that have been put up against you, like blunders that have been there for Disney, PR nightmares, disasters. A lot of it's just all been Bob Iger. I can't think of a CEO that's had as many sort of shit show, PR stunts as Bob Iger has for Disney. I don't think there's been anyone else there. That's just interesting to me.
I thought that was a funny bit of journalistic writing there, but the Bob Iger run Fun Palace. Like, what kind of what? The Bob Iger 73 runs Fun Palace. Like, do you know what I mean? It's a bit. Anyway, that made me giggle.
It's a bit weird. Proper bizarre. So it's far less than the 300 million it was estimated that the case could balloon to once it was certified as a class action last December. The official compensation comes a couple of weeks after news broke of a quietly reached October settlement between Disney and Laurie Andrus represented plaintiffs. The whole matter was set to go to trial in May. They should have just gone to trial. Why didn't they go to trial?
They probably would have got more money if they went to trial.
It's just such a shame, isn't it? Such a shame.
I bet people are put under such incredible pressure, though.
Yeah.
The amount of pressure the Disney team, and from all sorts of angles, You know, well, when you haven't got a lot of money, when you haven't got FU money, when you're not a millionaire, someone says, look, you can either have 20 grand now or run the risk of getting nothing. Yeah, you might get 200 grand or 500,000, but you might not. But there's 20 grand right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when you're poor as shit, just go, yeah, done. It's a guaranteed 20 grand, done. I mean, it's a shame, but that is a lot of people's psychology, I think.
True.
You can't all blame them as well,
No, not at all, really. I thought this line was interesting. This is from a Disney spokesperson. We've always been committed to paying our employees fairly and have demonstrated that commitment throughout this case, and we're pleased to have resolved this matter. What? You can't be committed to paying your employees fairly if you're reaching a settlement.
Yeah.
That's been going on for 10 years. It's from 2015, mate. So obviously not. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all, does it? You're not committed. Obviously not. It's just such bollocks.
They're using the language of a government or a government department. There is now a line drawn under this issue, and policy remains unrocked. And this issue has now been resolved, and the government should move forward. It's like, what? You're Disney. Well, you're disgraced. You're disgraced. You don't just walk away from that.
Yeah, they'll try to spin anything. Anything that makes them look bad, they'll spin it, as much as they possibly can.
This part's the best bit. Having said that, the company's also bringing in outside consultant to help foster better practices in terms of pay equality, I hear. Also, Disney will further its cooperation for another 3 years with external economists on the matter of compensation equity. What does that mean?
Yeah.
They're looking to overpay underqualified candidates for roles that would have normally gone to merited employees, especially males. So you're going to get a lot more unqualified people at Disney. They're going to be paid more than their equivalent, male counterparts. That's what that means. Yeah. So again, it's the white guilt syndrome. You've got, and the problem with Disney is, they haven't done anything positive in the world in almost a decade. Almost everything they've done has had a net negative effect rather than a benefit.
Yeah.
So
that's true, isn't it? And what a damning thing that is.
Yep.
And I don't know if you guys saw the interview we did with the ex-Disney employee who was a white guy who basically was told by an HR executive that he wasn't being let go because of anything to do with his performance. It was because he was a white guy, and they needed more diverse people. He talked to a lawyer, but basically the lawyer basically said, look, they're a powerhouse in the legal department. They'll drag this thing out, and it will cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars possibly, and you could get nothing.
Except that here's the thing that lawyer also didn't realize at the time. He had people like you and me and Nate and other people who have influence, regardless how small. Other people pick up on these stories, bigger and bigger channels. Podcasts of Lotus Eaters can jump in on it. I could just imagine Carl Benjamin ripping into this and many others. We now have, we are the media now, dude. We're the news now. I'm sorry. I said it in a video.
We are the media now.
Yeah. I use that actually. I actually use that. We are the media now. It's true. It's true. And that's why I'm like, don't be disheartened. Don't be dissuaded from pursuing these things. Just, partner up or reach out to one of these guys. And you reach out to Nate, he's got reach out to these people, and they get the ball rolling in the negative sphere for Disney. And this is something that comes out, and that say some, friendly politician gets involved here in the States. Dude, Disney is going to get the fist of love fast. They're going to be really trying to reach out and settle a case. Nobody wants that smoke now. And that smoke pays off. This is why we can't stop now. If you think if the fight's over, dude, it just started. You don't even know. We need to go to war.
It's sad because Lotus Eaters we get emails all the time from people where it's just their individual story. So like I worked in university. I've just been kicked out for basically nothing, for like liking a Nigel Farage tweet or something, or less than that. Like my whole career's gone down the tube because of the tiniest little thing. And people want their voice out there. And of course, at Lotus Eaters, we can only do so much. Occasionally, we'll have someone on to talk about their experience, but usually they have to be a content creator in the first place, sort of level. We get emails from just normal people all the time, and they've got nowhere else to go, nowhere else to turn to. They're like sort of screaming into the void about a ridiculous injustice.
Well, and I feel like we should dedicate like a show, Bo. Especially, we should dedicate one show like every once in a while where we just talk about that, right?
Yeah, there are endless examples and stories. I mean, there's 14,000 of these women. Well, actually, don't know if their claims are actually legit or not, but that's a whole different story. But yeah, no, there is a number of people. Hopefully, as we said before, the zeitgeist is turning. Hopefully, we're on our way out of the trough.
Yeah. Well, on the topic of this one anyway, specifically, 14,000. Now they're only getting, was it 43 million? Not good. They should have gone to trial. I'm not saying that, there's a gender pay gap or whatever and all that people deserve to be paid the same and blah, 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 all this kind of crap. I think that there's a big, I think there's a clear difference when someone has a higher value. They bring in more people. This is the issue of Hollywood at the moment. Hollywood. Talent is a thing. If someone's more talented and they bring in, they're more of a draw, then they should get more money. But Hollywood sort of minimizing that, or trying to anyway, on certain things. You always hear it every now and then with some interviews. So if Disney's, I don't know, if Disney done any of that, then I'm not going to say no, hey, that's bad. But this, in terms of if they're doing the exact same job and blah blah blah, it's pretty dodgy. But at the end of the day, this is the bed that they made, so they've got to lie in it. So it's just fun. It's just a fun video to take a look and see that they've kind of gone up in smoke again, which is always funny to see.
Did you guys see the Bill Burr comedy stand up where he talks about this equality nonsense?
No.
He was talking about, he was watching ESPN or something one morning, and people were asking about why the WNBA players aren't making as much as NBA players, or the women's soccer teams aren't making as much as men's soccer teams. They should be paid the same. And he's like, I had to watch these idiots on there just stumble around about, I don't know why this has happened. Like they didn't know the answer. And he's like, they all know the answer. It's because they don't sell tickets. Those women teams, the guys sports in those sell way more tickets and make way more money. WNBA has never been profitable ever. It's literally being subsidized by the NBA. And at some point in time, these companies need to just stop trying to push this kind of nonsense. If it's profitable and people are paying money for it, then they should get paid what the companies are bringing in. A fair wage for what they're doing and what the company's actually making, not this inflated nonsense garbage.
Yeah. We'll move on from this. We've got